Hello, comic book fans, and welcome to Comic Boss 1. Okay, guys, it's nice to be with you again. I've been having a lot of feedback over the last few days over some of the previous ones, like Tales from the Treehouse. Today, this one's going to be slightly different. It's a tale of slabbing, woes and problems, but with excellent customer service in between. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to give you an insight into an experience that I'd had when I bought. I've never had this before and never had it since. Obviously, I have a number of CGC books, but this particular book, when I bought this book, the Aquaman 1, it came in an old older holder, which was from a couple of years back, and I'll give you the specific time that was from later. But basically, when it came fine. It wasn't the seller's fault, by the way. The seller had not used before, or not for a very, very long time. He's a brilliant chap, and the sale went perfectly, got a very nice discount on it, and was very happy with the actual item itself. But I'd say about 3 months after, something like that, when I looked at the book, I looked at it and I noticed that along the edge, there was I thought at first my eyes were deceiving me, and I kept having to tilt it like this. It's resolved now, okay? So don't be looking at squinting and thinking, oh, what's up with it? But there were waves, okay? There were actual waves, and it was like kind of crumpling up. And I wondered what the heck was going on with it. And it was really worrying, and it really bugged me. It bugged me an awful lot at the time. So much so that I, off the top of my head, and I've kind of like not been, I've kind of spent some time outside of comics again, and I've not kind of been zoned in, if you know what I mean. I had a lot going on outside of comics, if you will. And so I just typed in on YouTube, I think it was CGC, sorry, I had to do that on camera then, CGC wave damage, okay? Or CGC wave. Yes, CGC wave was what I typed in. And even just off of that search, it threw up a load of stuff. And I was amazed. I was amazed because it was an actual thing. It was a phenomenon, an actual thing that had occurred. And apparently there's a thing called wave damage that you can get on certain books, but it's from a specific time period again. So don't just be looking at this thinking, oh, I can get a new book, new slab, you know, this kind of thing. It did seem to be a genuine problem, and I was very relieved that when I spoke to CGC, this was recognised and they dealt with it. Like, I can't, obviously I'm from the UK, I cannot fault them. It was Brittany McManus, I think her name is. Brittany is just a beautiful human being on every level. Matt Nelson's awesome as well, by the way, but Brittany, customer service-wise, just did everything. I mean everything. Walked me through it, held my hand, and kind of got it from across the pond, basically, there and back, with it being reholded and to my satisfaction, with it being pressed and with it being done to my satisfaction. And when it came back, you can see there's no waves. It's perfectly straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit about that, and I'm going to show you the process that I went through, because it is quite interesting. And I'll show you some stuff online as well, where you can actually see that that's happened. But yeah, I'll show you first of all the kind of damage that was in place. Now, obviously, I didn't know I was going to make this video when it happened, which was probably just a little under a year ago when I sent it off. But I'll show you what kind of damage I'm talking about. Okay, so this is one example of the wave damage that I'm talking about, and you can clearly see the waves up on. This is on the TV screen, by the way. This is from another video, but this is basically some of the kind of wave damage that I'm talking about. Okay, so this is a really good example of the wave damage that we're talking about, and it is really bad. And there's no way, obviously, that's going to upset any collector, that happening, and you can't help but think of the damage that it causes. But like I said, after pressing, it's perfect. And I was really happy with the resolution. Let me show you some of the communications that I had with CGC. So here you can see clearly she says that the only problem that they've had with books is from April 2016 to June 2016, and that was the biggest problem. And you can see that she wants to resolve it, and believe me, they got it well and truly resolved. And I had a real backwards and forwards. It must have gone on and on. In the best respect, I mean that in the best possible respect, in that she looked after the book, she kept me updated, she kept me informed as to what was happening. She offered me, bearing in mind I'm living in the UK, she offered, they did it, refunded my packaging shipping to and from, and it came no cost, and it was just awesome. The service is faultless. So what I'd say is again, and different people have different experiences, but this is my experience. And my experience was, if you know, my item was purchased or was slabbed, encapsulated at that point in time, that automatically they recognised that there was a problem and they wanted to resolve it. Okay, so they wanted to resolve it, and they did. They got it resolved. They got it resolved. They got it shipped back to me within a very short period of time. I think there was about a 2.5 week turnaround, maybe 3 weeks between me getting it sent in and it coming back to me. It came back to me perfect condition. I preferred the slab, the presentation of it, but also, you know, it's a beautifully solid slab. But that was my experience of the wave damage problem. Like I say, never had it before, and I believe you can have the same slabs from that same period of time. It's not an automatic problem. It's just on some of those books from that time. And, you know, you can have that problem, but like I say, it was resolved like that straight away. So if you ever have any problems with CGC, I will say this now, from my personal experience, they looked after me, they dealt with me in a decent fashion, and they resolved the problem straight away. Absolutely faultless. So thank you very much. If you're watching, anybody from CGC, you were perfect. I hope you are coming to the UK. One of my subscribers very kindly informed me that they might be coming to the UK. I hope they are, because it'd make life a lot easier and a lot more exciting, a lot more interesting. But yeah, that was my experience of the CGC wave damage. Listen guys, thanks very much. I'm going to try and squeeze out another under the covers and some other stuff later on. Thanks very much, and remember, keep collecting.